might want to think about doing glazes like I do, like layered glazes. In which case, I mean, I'll tell you kind of how I do it roughly is I'll kind of sketch the thing out, and I'll pretty much paint all the values in like a burnt umber, like a brown color.
So you have like a burnt umber background color?
Yeah.
Wash?
Yeah, I'll paint, it's like I'll have the sketch, or if I have a basic idea of what I want to do for the sketch, I'll just take burnt umber and sketch with the burnt umber. A lot of times I'll actually do the whole, you know, instead of white, so I'm not painting on white, I'll paint the whole thing brown or really thin down black even, just to get it gray and just to get it kind of this neutral color. And so then I'll basically sketch with burnt umber, just get the, you know, the values, the lights and the darks and stuff. So it looks like, at that point it looks like a loose, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, not colored sketch, or monochromatic brown sketch. And so then I can see my values really well. Then I will think of basically what I think the middle tone is going to be, you know, like in between the shadow and the highlight color.
Do you when you paint, like, do you paint both highlights and shadows at the same time and then try to get a correlation between them?
What I usually do is I had this burnt umber, and I will kind of get the middle tones in, and then I will start trying to get some highlights in there, and then I'll maybe let that dry. I'll kind of do some blending between the middle tones and the highlights, and I try to leave the shadows this warm burnt umber because it looks really nice. It's like an old master's technique, and I'm not always successful in being able to leave it, but I also like to leave areas, you know, underpainting. You can see this is what the underpainting looked like in the piece.
When you said like old masters, did you draw inspiration from them when you were drawing, or was it?
As far as technique goes, yeah, it's like they already did everything better than anyone will ever do anything. So it's like there's no improving on what they did.
So do you recommend going to some like classical art museums and looking at like Raphael, like Rembrandt, and all that?
Yeah. If you can.
What's it for?
Even though it's like,
intrigued,
if you can appreciate, it's like a lot of people can't appreciate the artwork because it's out of the cultural context, you know. But if you can get past that, it's never going to get better than that. They already took it to the highest point that painting will ever be. So now it's like, as artists, all we can do is we can't improve on that, but we can use that technique. And I think really what we have as artists to offer that maybe wasn't as important to them is painting who we really are, our unique perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we're using the techniques and our, you know, our all we really have, since we can't get any better. It's like I'll never be as good as, or I'll definitely never be better than any of these guys, any of those guys. They spent their whole lives doing it. They spent years on paintings, and just, you can't do that anymore anyway. The best I can do is give my own vision. You know,
so your work is like a homage to their techniques and stuff.
Yeah, and use their techniques, learn from the best, and use it to express your own vision, your personal vision.
I really might take first.
So anyway, I'll do the middle tones and the highlights. I'll do some blending, and I'll let that dry. And then once that's dry, I will take. I'll start coloring some glazes over it, which are you take the oil paint, you mix in a little bit of painting medium like linseed oil, or I use liquid. or Galkid, and you mix that in with the paint. Like you mix a color, and you dab it. You just put a little dab of the medium, and you mix that with the paint, and then you put more medium. I always some people don't, but I always put medium in with my paint because I want it to dry fast, and oils take a long time to dry.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't seen it before. I've seen it from free.
But for glazes, you can take liquid. That's what I use. Mix a whole bunch of liquid in with the paint, so it's almost like the paint is a tint. Like it won't. It's not opaque. And there's also certain colors that are not opaque, specifically made for that. And then you take the thinned out paint with the medium, and you just go over it, kind of like you're tinting it with the colors. And once I start putting just some color on top of there, you know, you kind of wipe it off a little bit, and it just gets me going to see. You know, I'll do a little bit of, I don't know, some pinks in here, and then I'll get an idea where I want to go with it, and then I'll come, after that dries, I'll go back, I'll do some more opaque stuff over it and bring out the highlights again, sort of what I did before, and then I'll go back and I'll glaze it again after that's dry and just kind of go back and forth.
Can we just quickly get a...
Oh, hey.